Hi everybody, welcome out to the Dice Tower. My name is Chris Yee.
And I'm Joey Evans.
Today we're taking a look at this Line of Fire Burnt Moon. This is a two-player lane battler game that's sort of a follow-up, at least thematically, to Undaunted Callisto.
Undaunted. Well, you said that in a very southern accent. Glory be, Undaunted.
So this is from the same two designers, David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin, from Osprey Games.
Yep.
So yeah, this is one I was very interested in because I like lane battlers a lot. You've played the Undaunted games.
I have. Have you?
I have not played Undaunted.
Undaunted? Well,
Yeah.
this is pretty much Undaunted.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm going to show you how this one plays, and then we'll give you our thoughts. Here's a Line of Fire Burnt Moon set up on the table. What you see here in the middle are the lanes that we're going to be battling over. The goal of the game is try to flip over these tiles to show control of 8 victory points worth of areas. So this area here, these two are going to be worth 3 points for me. These ones will be worth 2, and this one worth 1. So any combination of these that gets me to 8 or more. On the flip side, mirrored, is going to be my opponent's side of the lanes. And you'll notice that the points that each lane is worth can be different. So 3 on my side randomly matched up with a 1 on their side. Some might be the same, and some might be different. So the goal is the same for both of us. What you see down here is my blue player display of cards that I can purchase from to add to my deck. Pink player would have the exact same thing mirrored on their side of the table. Each player is going to start with an identical deck of 9 cards, which consists of ROVs, or robots, remote operated vehicles, personnel, which are going to be immediate cards that you can play, and interference cards, which do nothing, they just take up space within your deck. At the start of each round, players will draw up 4 cards. Out of these 4 cards, they will choose one to make their bid for initiative. So I'll reveal a card, my opponent reveals a card simultaneously, and whoever has bid the higher value is going to go first. So the initiative will go to the pink player. They will take their turn with the 3 cards they have in hand. Both of these initiative cards will be discarded. Pink would go, take their 3 actions, then it comes back to me, and I can take my actions in this case. So if there's a tie in the bid, whoever had the initiative previously would keep it, otherwise it'll flip to the other player. Now with the cards here, personnel cards you can play for their immediate actions. You choose one of them down here. Bolster to gain more cards, overclock to activate a card multiple times, withdraw to take cards that were already played on the table back into your deck. Command is to draw extra cards, so on and so forth. Or you can use the cards, the ROVs from your hand, to play them out into these lanes to try to have majority control for areas. Or if you want to activate a previously placed card, what you'll do is you'll discard a card of the matching type. Now there are important factors here. There are 4 types of ROVs. You see the Moss, the Tier, the XED, and the DAC-U. On top of that, there are also different squadrons that can pertain to A or B, and you cannot, these are different. So I cannot use a discard a Moss B to activate a Moss A on the table. So with each of these, you can either return them to the supply, or you can play them out into a lane, or you can discard them to activate them. If you play one of these into a lane, you will take an interference card into your discard pile and add it to your deck. Or if you use one of these XED exploration type ROVs, you can play them into a lane that you were not in before, and you won't have to draw that interference. But keep in mind that you have to match Bs to Bs and As to As. So if I wanted to on my turn now, add this over here, I could do that. Now I could discard this Moss A to activate this Moss A and take one of its actions. I can either move it to an adjacent lane, I could attack with it, 2 attack, or 3. 3 if I have the majority in that lane. And when you look over here, I do have 3, or I have 2 into my majority compared to the opponent's 1. So I could attack with a strength of 3. Or I could try to control the area. Let's say I discard this card to activate the control action on the Moss A. Since I have majority here, I can flip this token over to show that I have control of it. I now gain those points towards my total, but if my opponent is able to add more to their side and take the control action, they can actually flip it and take control themselves. You continue doing this, drawing up 4 more cards, using one of them to bid for initiative and playing the actions on the others until one of the conditions have been met. The primary way to win is to control 8 control points in lanes. The other is to destroy all of your opponent's Moss-type cards, because these are the only ones that have the control action. Attacking in this game has a unique flow to it. Let's say that the pink player, my opponent, discards this Tier A card to activate their Tier A that is on the board, which has an attack of 3 strength because they are not in the majority in this lane. When you flip over a tile, it actually contributes to your majority, so I have 3 to their 1. But with their attack of 3, they're going to compare against my shield value here, the health of the ROVs I have, which is boosted by the shield value shown here in the lane. So the 3-point lane that for me is worth a lot of points also gives no additional shielding, whereas areas that are worth fewer points have more inherent shield. So with their 3 attack, they can target this Moss B card because it has 2 shield plus 1 extra. Now, instead of destroying this one on the lane already, first I will check my hand. If I have a Moss B, the type of card being destroyed, I will remove this from my hand first. If I did not have one in hand, then I would look in my discard pile, and I would check there. If I have one in the discard pile, this one will get destroyed and removed from the game. If not in hand or discard, then I'll check my deck that I have not played yet, destroy one from there, and then reshuffle my deck. And if it is not found in any of those locations, then I would destroy the one that is on the board actually supporting that lane. Other types of the machines or robots, ROVs, will have stronger attacks, or shock, which will deactivate a card by turning it sideways so it doesn't count towards majority. There are other ones, other abilities from personnel you can recruit, or other effects like fortifying, which allows you to take one of these tokens, and it counts as functionally a card and more defense in that lane. Or you can demo one of these fortifications on your opponent's side. So there's a different mix of actions that you can do with all of the different cards. But that's more or less, without diving into everything, how to play Line of Fire. So from the overview,
yes,
I think it'll be kind of clear to people that there's a lot of keywords and kind of an odd little structure to this game.
This is, when you said, hey, you don't play a lane battler, I'm like, I have some time, I'll play a lane battler. And then you go into it and you're like, this is pretty intense for a lane battler, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of games in the genre, Air, Land, and Sea,
yeah,
or I can't think of all of a sudden the one with the different elements and stuff from Capstone games, Rift Force, right?
Yeah.
A lot of those tend to be kind of, you play a card out, and then it'll do something, or it counts towards number total or something in a lane. This is not that.
No.
How does this compare? So I haven't played Undaunted. How does this compare to your experience having played those games?
It is very similar to Undaunted. This is Undaunted the lane battler pretty much.
Okay.
You see, even like Tom walked by, he's like, oh wow, that's right from there, which is good, you know, because this is I want to say a smaller footprint on the table, but that might not be exactly true. It's a smaller looking game than Undaunted.
Because each side has their own pool of cards that you're going to be able to purchase from, bolster from.
Right.
And so it takes up a good sized footprint and everything, but the actual play area is
right.
It's fairly laser focused, you know, that small central area of the table.
Yeah, and that is one thing. That whole like market or bolster area, it has to be divided among, you know, rank and all that. It's a lot of table space for a lane battler.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and so for people who have not played Undaunted like me, I think some of the similarities you'll see are things like, if I remember correctly, you bid for turn order.
Yes.
So you have a hand of 4 cards. You really only have a hand of 3 cards because one of those, even if you're like, I'll just take low priority, it's fine, you still have to get rid of one of those. And so it feels like you're working with a pretty limited palette of hand. I don't. That was a bad analogy. You only have 3 cards to work with each turn.
Exactly, and that's always. I love and hate that mechanic because you're like, because they balance them really well. Like you're gonna have those high numbers on the cards that you really want, but you're like, I just lose that.
And those interference cards do nothing except they're a 1 on the initiative for bidding.
Right.
And it leads to some funny moments where someone's like, I really need to go first. I'm gonna put up for auction wherever my captain, my number 9, and the person reveals their like piece of crap static card.
I hate that.
You're like, well, I didn't have to go that hard.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, those moments are great in it.
Yeah.
Now, rulebook wise, that was a very odd choice.
The 2 little mini rule books.
Yeah, I mean, I would have rather seen that broken up into like 9 or 10 rule books.
That's fair. That's true.
That's just too few rule books. It's very odd. It's like, I thought, oh, one's mechanic, one's like the scenarios. No, you need to read both of them.
Yeah, one is called Gameplay Manual, the other is Action Manual, which is not a terrible way to break this up, but also some of the keyword actions on cards are found in the first manual.
Yes.
So there's a lot of flipping between the two, unfortunately.
Right, I agree.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the actual gameplay, the structure of it, I like lane battlers a lot. It's a genre I tend to enjoy. You have more cards in an area or more strength of cards or whatever. You can attack across, stuff like that. And that's here in this game. But it's kind of done in a more involved system than a lot of other games.
It is very involved. I think it seems when you first learn it, you're like, that's a lot. It took us a game and they're like, all right, we're going to run it back. And now you kind of get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot. But even by then, the third or fourth game is when you're going to start stunning and things like that. There's a lot going on.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely keywords that I was like, I'm just not going to worry about that the first few games.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just going to get the flow down. And, oh, got it. These are the only types of ROVs, the robot card, that can do this type of... This is how I build barricades.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. This is how I fortify or whatever. And I really like that there are 2 win conditions. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that you are chasing 8 control points, and that the lanes that give you 3 control points have no bonus shielding to them. Whereas the one that gives you 1 control point gives you 2 extra shield to all of your units there. Like, that's a good kind of trade-off there, because otherwise, why would you pursue the lower point lanes? Well, because your guys aren't going to get destroyed as much.
I agree. I appreciate the balance, the little balance things that you see as you play the game. That I appreciate a lot.
Mm-hmm. I think that some people are going to have hang-ups where nothing feels as direct in this game, though. Like, I play out this machine right here. What does it do? Nothing. I have to wait until I get another card of the matching type of the not only of the matching like Moss or Tier or Dacu, but also of the same troop, A or B. And so then I can discard that Y to activate it now. Everything feels like it's a few steps behind, right? Even attacking, like I attack you, Joey, in this middle lane. I just don't destroy that robot, though. First, we check your hand. It's not. Then we check your discard pile. Okay, then we destroy it from there. Everything feels kind of disconnected, while still making sense why it works that way.
It does, and you can see some nice strategic things like, what, if I have killed everything in your hand, I see you put one in there, I can attack that again to make sure you can ever fire off that robot. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's rough feeling.
Which is tough, but again, it's like, thematically, I'm like, oh, so I'm shooting him, and he like bringing his friend out. He's like, boom, I'm still here. It's like,
oh, no.
Yeah, I was like, okay, but kind of wanted to kill you.
Yeah. But it makes sense to me in that there's more than one robot like out there on the battlefield, right? But yeah, it's disconnected or disjointed. Maybe is a too strong of a sounding word, but it does feel odd that nothing is as direct as it seems like it could be compared to other games of this ilk. Now, whether that's a deficit or whether that's a strength, whether that's a boon, I think some people are going to really gravitate towards this because it is more involved, and there's a little bit more of a struggle to even just control a lane.
I agree. I mean, and look at the size of the box. The amount of there are that many decisions and things in a box this size is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So any other points that you want to hit before we get into our final thoughts here?
No, I think that you've covered most of stuff.
Okay.
So you may go first?
Sure, please.
All right, so pretty much it's a lane battler. It can play really quick, which is a good thing, but I think it can also stall. There have been a couple times where it's like, I really can't, because again, you say you get rid of that one card, and now I've got 3, and if I'm boxed in, I'm like, this is going to be it's not going to be a productive turn at all. I mean, you can bolster, you can do stuff like that to prepare, but that does kind of stall. Comparing it to other games that I like Radlands, things like that, I would probably gravitate to playing those over this, But again, I can see the beauty in this. I'm coming in at a 6 on this. I do enjoy it. I don't know how often I'd come back to it, But I'd probably play Undaunted over it. But again, if you like that Undaunted in a 2-player kind of lane battler, this is for you.
So I think I'm coming a little bit higher at a 7.5. I am recommending this one with kind of a big caveat, is that this is not a game for everybody, and that's okay, right? And I find it to be a lot of fun because of that struggle of when you say, right, ooh, I'm not going to have a good turn. And then I watch those gears turn in your head for a second. You're like, well, it's not going to be a good turn if I look at this just very bluntly, but if I realize I can do this to move this and then play this out here to do, all of a sudden you had a really great, like a game-winning turn from what felt like you weren't going to have it, right? So there's a lot of games where it's obvious. So I have a 1, 4, and a 5. Got it. Do this, this, and this. This is not that type of game because maybe you're going to bolster when you didn't think you were going to. Maybe you're going to overclock a card. I discard this personnel card so that I can discard this machine card to activate its matching type out there twice. And that can really turn the tide of a battle. It's like every hand is more of a puzzle that you need to solve. Almost in a sense that you're puzzling your hand and you're puzzling the middle, whereas a lot of other lane battling games, or you're mostly just kind of puzzling the middle of the table.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's its separating factor, which is either going to be a strength for you or it's going to be a weakness, and you'll say there's so many other games that ilk you'd rather play. I do think I'd gravitate towards other games as well, kind of like this, but I like what this one offers enough that I'm saying I'm recommending it with that little bit of a caveat. If you watched the overview and you thought, nah, that's just too much, it might be too much for you.
Yeah.
But I think that it offers something really cool, and I like this one overall.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's our thoughts here on Line of Fire, Burnt Moon, the latest offering from Osprey Games. So go ahead and tell us below what you think of this one if you've gotten a chance to try it. But until next time, I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Joey Evans.
And long live the battle for Io. Pew, 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 pew.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Bassel.
I'm curious to see where you're coming down on this.
Curious to see where you're coming down on this.
I'm coming down on the sword.
Coming down with the hammer. I didn't mean to sing that like an old show tune. Coming down with the hammer.
I know, it's like, that's not the way that
down
song
with
goes
the hammer.
It's like, okay. We don't have to cuddle this time. It's pretty nice.
You right?
We don't have to cuddle this time. This is nice. We can cuddle later, buddy.
I miss those days.
Those days. That was the old studio.
I saw footage of us sitting on the couch of the old studio, and I was like, that's right.
You sent me that, and I was like, wow. Seemed like ages ago. I missed the couch. It's
Hashtag
finally,
bring back the couch.
it finally stopped me in the comments, and now.
Yeah, we liked seeing Chris constantly pulling down his shorts so his legs weren't like riding up. We missed those days.
I think because I was practically always laying down in that one. I'm like, my posture was horrible. I was practically sleeping when everyone was talking. It was really bad.
You still are.